And my philosophy on gun permits is if citizens want gun permits, let's give them to them. But here's the deal. If we're going to give gun permits, and I think it's okay to do that, but I say, we're going to train you, you're going to go to a firing range, we're going to look at your gun, you're going to shoot it, we're going to have a little closer relationship, because we're going to be giving more of them out. But after we teach you how to shoot the gun, then we're going to get you into a classroom, and we're going to tell you the rest of the story, okay? And the rest of the story is that, first of all, if you shoot somebody, unless you hit them in the head and take out their motor functions, you might have a bigger problem on your hand than before you shot. Give you a good example. A partner of mine went on a disturbance call. 10-year-old daughter come at the front door and said, "Mommy and Daddy are fighting." The deputy goes inside. This guy is sitting on top of his wife on the living room floor. He's just plunged a knife into her chest, and the knife hit the sternum, so it didn't penetrate. The deputy draws down and says, "Get off of her." And the husband says, "This is not about you. Get out of here. This is between her." And he said, "No, no, get off of her." So he gets off of her and he starts towards the deputy. "Okay, you want some of this?" And he's got the knife. The deputy pulls his gun and he shoots the guy with a .357 Magnum. He gets 5 in the 10 ring and 1 in the arm. This guy, measured at the crime scene, walks 13 feet across the floor after being hit 6 times, grabs the deputy into a bear hug and wrestles him to the floor before he loses consciousness. Okay, that's what guns do. I've been to a lot of shootings. I've worked homicides. I've worked the coroner. I know what guns do and can't do. It's not like the movies, you know. So that's the first thing we want you to be trained on. The second thing we want you to be trained on is that no matter who you shoot with your weapon, with your legally concealed weapon, the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to be sued. Whether you wound them, whether you kill them, doesn't make any difference. You're going to be sued. Happens to every single cop in every single shooting, no matter where they're at. And that's a system that cops, they deal with it. They know that the counties, their employers, whatever, are going to represent them. But you as a private citizen, it's going to be a whole new experience for you. Anyway, but I think that knowledge is power. And if we've got you adequately and properly trained, and we do our best with you, at the end of the day, it's still going to be your call. But we're going to try to help there. Because I know, again, in '94 when I ran for sheriff, like #1 topic, everybody wants a CCW permit. Here I am, all these years later, and people, #1 topic, everybody wants CCW. Like I said, buying for the people. If that's what you want, then I say let's look at it. Now, having said that, doesn't mean that we can't make changes to the program if it gets out of hand or we got people doing stupid things, but I think we'll be okay. I'm not going to worry about it till the problem comes. We need to see how it goes, because people really want it. The other thing that needs to happen in law enforcement is that we need to expand our volunteer services. Because when we start cutting back positions, we're going to need the citizens' help more than ever. I mentioned earlier in the group next door, when I was working patrol at Riverside Station, we started the mounted posse. We had 70 riders. We had the largest mounted posse in the history of the Sheriff's Department to that point. And it was a great unit, great people, all citizen volunteers. They did wonderful things with their horses. But that's what citizens can do when we get them involved. Unfortunately, different administrators over the years, they kind of let things like that slip between the cracks. But I think now, more than ever, we're going to need citizen involvement. We're going to need volunteers at all levels to help us get the job done, because we're facing some really, really tough times. Okay, I have more to say, but well, let me just do one thing on jails before I go, because this is the other thing that comes up. I have another speaking engagement, and I didn't know I was coming over here. I'm glad I got invited and get a chance to talk to you. But the thing about jails, I get asked all the time, what about Tent City? Like they have, you know, like Joe Arpaio has in Arizona. The problem with that is in California, we have what's called Title 15 and Title 24. That's the California government code that says in California, we're going to treat prisoners differently than any place else in the world, okay? I'll get a good example. I went to Kentucky one time on an extradition. 2 brothers that were doing robberies here in Riverside County. And we get down to this little podunk jail in Kentucky, and just a one-room joint. And we're talking to the investigator, and he says, "We want to take these guys down?" And I said, "Oh man, we're tired. Been on a plane all day, been traveling. I just want to get a good night's rest. We'll deal with these guys tomorrow." And then from the back of the jail, one of the guys going, "Hey deputy, let's go now. I'll drive." I go, so the next day, I talked to him and believe it, and he goes, "Man, are you kidding me?" He says, "These jails are awful. They're cold. They don't give you extra blankets. The food is cold. It's awful. You know, they just don't care about you." In California, you know, you've got television, you've got air conditioning, you've got heating, extra blankets, hot meal. You know, it's like being in a Marriott hotel. That's what he said. He said being in jail in California is like being in a Marriott hotel. In the meantime, the real heroes in this country are in Afghanistan, they're in Iraq, fighting for their lives, fighting for our lives, eating out of cans, living in tents. So where's the balance? What happened? Where did we go wrong? As your sheriff, I'm telling you, I will be in Sacramento right off the bat, and I will be lobbying with every sheriff in the state, saying we need to change the rules. First of all, it's too damn expensive. Who can afford like $340 million for this palace jail we're going to build in Whitewater? It's ridiculous. You know, but we can't do tents. We can't do any of that other stuff that we do in other places because we just went over. So we need some balance here. The other thing that needs to happen is there's over $4 billion has been allocated in the Obama administration for the stimulus plan for law enforcement. Now, the problem with that $4 billion is the very first thing you got to do is you got to divide it by 50 because that's how many states we got. And then after you do that, you got to divide it by every state's number of law enforcement agencies. In California, as an example, we have 58 counties in California. So now we've already divided the 4 billion 50 times. Now you can divide it 58 more times. And then, like in Riverside County, we have 10 police departments that are standalone that have nothing to do with the sheriff's department. So you can divide it 10 more times. LA County has about 80 police departments in addition to the sheriff's department. If you start dividing this all up, we're going to be lucky, whatever we get, we're going to be lucky to get it. But I will tell you this, from my own experience in dealing with grants, you know, if you just do the paperwork and submit it, good luck. But if you do the paperwork and hand carry it down there to Sacramento or Washington or wherever, and you start twisting arms, you're going to do better. Just the way it is. So that's what I'll do. As sheriff, we're going to do that. There are so many things that need to be addressed that are so critical to our survival, to our future, and to the future of our children. And I'm telling you, this is just a few of the reasons why I'm running. There are just so many issues. I could be up here all day, and I wish I could stay longer. We do have another student engagement. But thank you so much for asking me over here. I appreciate it. I'll take any questions before I go.
What do you think is going to happen to us as citizens when they release all these prisoners that they're talking about releasing, which they've already started doing?
Well, you know what? The first thing is you're probably going to be a lot more likely to be the victim of a crime. You're probably going to be one of these people that's going to be thinking, maybe I need a CCW. But I don't know that that's the answer. I really don't. You know, I think good law enforcement and strong law enforcement is the answer. But right now, because of the budget and the economy being what it is, that's not going to happen for a while. So you kind of got me on that one. I'm not sure I can give you an answer that's going to make you feel